So if you're thinking about moving out here to St. George, one of the reasons you might be thinking about moving out here is because when you come out to St. George, because it is a smaller metropolitan area, you get a lot of the things that go along with, you know, small time living. You get, you know, it's a
slower pace
of life, you know, higher quality of living. People tend to be nicer. They have more time for you.
Less pollution.
Less pollution.
Less traffic.
Less traffic. Less, you know, all of the yucky things you have to deal with like big city living. You know, that being said, there are some pluses of big city living, right?
Yes.
And so if we were going, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about if we could have just, what are some of the things that we do miss in St. George about a big city? I mean, we don't want to change it, right? And we know that if we had a lot of these things, St. George wouldn't have a lot of the character.
Yeah, it's not practical in a lot of ways. Because obviously with some of these things, you need a large population to support these things anyway. So however, it doesn't mean that we can't longingly you know, wish or just think about, daydream about it.
Daydream about it, yeah. And a lot of people who were born and raised here feel the same. I mean, they don't want to change St. George and its, you know, small town charm. But there are some things you're like, oh, it would be nice.
If only.
If only. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to talk about what are some of the things that we wish St. George had, knowing that this isn't really practical and it's never going to happen.
So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? I'm Sean Dezad.
And I'm Courtney Dezad, and we're with Keller Williams Realty right here in St. George, Utah. And if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in St. George, Utah, you've got to press that subscribe button and you've got to press the bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video, because we upload new videos every week all about St. George and all about what it's like to live here and all about what the new experience is like for somebody who's not from here.
And if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking, wow, Sean, I love St. George. I love the red rocks. I love the eternal sunshine. I can't wait to move out there. But the problem is that I'm not in the area. I don't know anything about St. George. And I totally get that. That's why I want to reach out to us, because that way we can have that conversation about what you're like looking for. And then we can, obviously I can be your eyes and ears on the ground here to help you find that perfect property. So what you want to do is you want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back. So a lot of this has to do with stores that we don't have here.
Obviously we're not going to talk about, oh, if St. George only had a beach. That's like ridiculous, right? I mean, we're not going to geographically move St. George to the beach. And I mean, so we're not talking about the things that St. George, you know, again, the weather is what it is. Its location is what it is. Like, we're not like talking about longing for those things. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
so we're just talking about, okay, things that theoretically could be done without terraforming the whole area.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about
a massive earthquake breaking off.
Exactly. California breaks off. And we're oceanfront.
Oh man, our house would go up.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just like that. Well, yeah, it'd be amazing. So, but having said that, we're not going to go into all like the craziness. Yeah. We're talking about things that, okay, like some creature comforts. That would have been pretty cool. Yeah. If it was here.
Yeah. So a lot of this has to do with like stores, because okay, for example, a lot of people really wish that St. George had a Trader Joe's.
Yes, I'm one of them.
Yes, we love Trader Joe's, but St. George doesn't have a Trader Joe's. And the main reason is because Trader Joe's, they will only go in a place that has a certain amount of people per square mile.
Yes.
So
we meet the population threshold, I think, but not the density. Exactly.
Yeah, we don't meet the density threshold. So again, if we met the density threshold, then a lot of the reasons why people love living here, you know,
exactly.
It would be destroyed.
Yeah, it's like that balance, right? Like, you know, you want to have a certain level of density to compel some of these shops to be here, but then if you have that density, you kind of lose. So again, this is somehow in a vacuum.
Yeah, this isn't a magical fairyland.
Yes,
where you could have a Trader Joe's.
You said Trader Joe's like just open up right here. It doesn't matter if the business is viable. Just open up right here. Anyway.
You can lose money on St. George.
Let's go for it.
Just keep the same population density.
Just look at the red rocks. I mean, you have to be mesmerized by the landscape. It's worth it.
Yeah. So Trader Joe's is another one. And then a lot of people always talk about Winco.
And I don't know what this is.
Oh, I love Winco. The first time I ever went to Winco was in Oregon, and I was just astonished by how much I loved it. And
which is saying something, because she doesn't like shopping. Stores mean nothing to her, so this must be, again, this must be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so Winco is a grocery store, and it is on a very reasonably priced, and there actually is rumors. I don't know if it's true, but there is rumors that Winco does own land in St. George and is planning on having a store here. So, you know, people are very excited. I don't know if it's true. This is the rumors. we'll see what happens. But it is a store.
So it's a grocery store.
Yeah, it actually reminds me a lot of Costco, except I like it better.
Blasphemy. That's just, I have to leave. Like, this is crazy.
But yes, a lot of people wish there was a Winco here, and maybe there will be.
But we do have a Costco, just so you know.
Yes.
So even though we don't have, apparently what you think is better than Costco, which I didn't even know that exists, but yeah, but we do have, we do have Costco, so we're good.
Yeah, and then Whole Foods is another one.
Sam's Club.
Sam's Club is another one because obviously you have Costco, and then some people around here are like, oh, I wish we had a Sam's Club.
Yeah, and for all these things we're talking about, there are some degree of alternatives. So like, again, there's no Sam's Club, but of course there's Costco. There's no Whole Foods, but yeah, like Harmon's, Natural Grocers, and Lynn's, and Smith's to a certain extent. And
then another thing that St. George does have is like, we don't have a Whole Foods, but we do have a lot of like local farmers where you can buy, you know, like raw milk, like farm fresh eggs, chicken, grass-fed beef.
And I'll say this, Finney Farms.
Yeah.
That store packs a punch. Like that place is better than anything we had for what it sells than from where we came from. So it's raw milk, way better. Its cheeses are amazing. Its eggs are incredible.
Yeah.
It's actually got even grass-fed beef and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
which is reasonably priced for the grass-fed beef.
So that's actually a little treasure that St. George has that actually a lot of these other areas do not.
Yeah, which we love. And actually,
and priced reasonably.
It is priced reasonably, and the milk, it's A1 milk. I mean, we're getting into our like
this is really granular here.
But we follow lots of health gurus on.
And so if you want good enzymes, you don't want it pasteurized, you want it raw.
Well, in A1 milk, it's also a certain type of cow where it doesn't have the protein. I think it's called casein.
Casein,
which is really bad for you. But this type of cow produces.
Now, this is not health advice.
Yeah, this is not health advice.
We're just realtors.
Yeah, we're just realtors. But this is why I purchase it for my own.
Well, and it tastes great. Beyond all that,
so good. Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big milk drinker. I mean, I'm going, wow, you can just down this milk because it's very tasty.
It is. And then another thing. I mean, you have to go to Vegas for this, which again, like.
Only about an hour and a half drive, so not too big of a deal.
And we're not complaining because obviously if you had all these things again, St. George would lose its charm. But we don't really have any luxury shopping here, like, you know.
Neiman Marcus, Tiffany's. This sounds, I know that this sounds insanely stupid. And actually, to be honest with you, we don't even shop there. So this is just saying that, you know, obviously it just doesn't have these things. But at the same time, if that, you know, if you want a Louis Vuitton store and you have that itch you want to scratch,
go to Vegas.
Go to Vegas. It's an hour and a half away. You have all the luxury stores you could ever dream of and more. Your Hermes's and all that stuff, all there. So that's, you know, so we don't have like that stuff.
Although we don't also have a Nordstrom's and a Macy's.
Yes, and those are actually would be nice. I mean, those are actually nice. You know,
although
stores.
I don't really care.
I mean, I like Nordstrom and Macy's, but like I think that they're, you know, so we don't have those here. We do have an H&M, which is pretty cool actually, because again, it just is kind of a surprising thing to see here, just because I didn't realize that the population supported an H&M, but yes, we do have an H&M, which is pretty cool.
And then I do wish that we have, because I've lived in Southern California as well as New York City, so these two places had huge varieties of like restaurants and also like ethnic foods and ethnic grocers. While we do have some of that stuff here, I definitely say I miss it.
Yeah, as far as the quantity, like the variety.
The variety is very much lacking.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where like there are certain restaurants here which is great, but the thing is obviously if you wanted just more differentiation and just variety, we just don't have that much here. Again, understanding that the population is, but it would be nice to have a little bit more variety. Yeah,
and there is some like specialty grocers, but they're very small, and you just don't get the variety that you get in other places. And on the food thing, I do wish that we also had more options for sushi, just because, I mean, Japanese food is my favorite food.
Yes, I think Courtney was Japanese in another life, so she absolutely loves her sushi. Yeah.
And then, you know, so you just don't have, again, it's like you don't have variety, right?
Well, so I guess speaking to that, too, we don't really have, let's say, the raw fish choices.
Yeah, like, because it's not next to the ocean. Yeah. There are no fish markets here, let's just put it that way.
There we go. Which would be nice.
If that's possible. I guess if you, like, live in 1,000 years from, if you teleport it through a wormhole.
Oh, I mean, there is refrigeration that could be helpful.
But it's not fresh from the ocean.
What do you think? Vegas has some incredible sushi places, and it's not right next to the ocean.
It's expensive. And another thing that I wish we had was more flight options from the airport. You don't really have much options, and it is very expensive.
Yeah, and optionally cheaper.
Yeah, optionally cheaper.
Actually, the flight option, well, yeah, because one, I think there's like 4 or 5 commercial flights departing per day. Like, so you don't, so it's very limited. You know, you can't go, oh, I want to leave at this time. You're going to leave at the time they're going to tell you to leave. So there's that. And plus, you're going to pay a pretty penny to do it. So the good news is 2 hours down the road, you can go McCarran Airport or Harry Reid Airport, whatever it's called now. And International Airport gets you everywhere you need to go to. And actually, surprisingly, at least from what we found, anecdotally, it seems pretty reasonable too.
Yeah. And then I also wish that we had better delivery options, because obviously, because we have lacking options in stores, you do have to get a lot delivered, like Amazon and other stores. But there is no next to day Amazon here.
Yeah, at least at the time.
At least right now.
Yeah, so it does seem like deliveries are a bit slow.
They are a bit slow, and then sometimes like stores won't even deliver here. Like,
yeah, it's just outside of their radius of where. Because sometimes you have to be within a certain radius of one of their brick and mortar locations. Yeah. And obviously we're just, you know, we may not be where that is. Yeah,
like even Costco, if you buy something online for Costco, they might say, oh, sorry, we don't deliver there.
Well, I think that one's just dependent upon the geographic item, like the geography of that specific item.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, again, because it is smaller, delivery can be maybe delayed, I would say.
Yes, that's fair.
And then lastly, I would say probably what I really wish that we had here, that honestly, it could support this right now.
Yes.
Is I really wish we had more childcare options.
Like after school, during the summer.
Yeah, like a YMCA option.
Boys and Girls Club, that kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of people, they do it themselves, meaning, you know, if they work, they will either get a bunch of kids together and then they, you know, have like a nanny share. So it's all kind of like ad hoc here. People are creating their own summer programs. And I guess maybe because I'm lazy, like I just wish I could just, it's just right there at the school. Like, I don't have to think about it. Whereas here, you do have to think about it.
Yes, exactly. So it is something there where it's a bit more like, oh, you can't just enroll them. Like, and there's just no YMCA or Boys and Girls Club or that kind of thing here.
Yeah, for sure. So that's it. That's our video.
And if you're thinking, wow, Sean, I'm ready to go. I'm not in the area, but I really want to move here. So what's my next step? And what you want to do is you want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back.